What up, Taz? I'm glad you got it. You want to come join us on the Zoom meeting? Hey, Josie. How you doing, Josie?
I've been a lot fucking better. I can say that much.
What's going on?
The world sucks. People are evil, and people don't know how to not make things that are basically their fault look like other people's fault. And now either the cops stole my keys or my ex stole my keys, and I'm sick of dealing with people for the day. So who fucking knows at this point?
Wow, that's a lot.
Yep,
Sorry to hear that.
it's all good. It'll get better somehow.
It's true. There's D. I know we usually have music going, but I am overseas right now and I am not in a place where I can just blast music. So we can just sit here and chat. But until the meeting starts, no music. We have a very interesting topic for tonight.
Whoop whoop. Hey, when's the
Whoop,
meeting
whoop.
actually start?
That's what
6 Eastern?
Clean the gutter.
In about a half an hour-ish.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my mic muted because I'm at work.
Hey, where's the
Okay.
ladder? The 6-foot ladder? It's right over there. Over there.
Love you, sober. I'll be listening.
No, I
I
All
have
right, I love you
a
too.
house meeting.
Aha.
You wouldn't have any.
For those on the live, just saw a hint at something that we are creating. I wish I had like 16 screens on my computer so I could do stuff simultaneously.
That would probably get a little confusing.
Yeah, I usually have a lot of stuff going on right now. So right now on my phone, I have the Facebook Live, and then I have all the Zoom stuff up. I have my meeting intro up, and then I also have a project up.
Wow, yeah, my brain can only not even focus on one thing at a time sometimes. Oh, I guess now it's thundering. Awesome.
It could be worse. You could be outside.
Yeah, I'm glad that I just was able to get home because I was outside. So that's why I'm saying awesome. At least it held off until I got inside.
Hello. How are you today? Hello, Chris.
I made it.
That fucking list, man, that you just sent, unreal.
Yeah, well, I told you it'd take me a minute, but I'd get it done.
We've got quite a bit finished. We've got a couple more topics to think of, and should be ready to go.
Yeah. Just give me a couple of days to look through everything and I'll
Oh
rock
yeah,
out
I'm in
some
no
more.
rush for it. I don't know. I'm thinking that once the system is created,
Hmm.
we can. I'll get some printed for us, and
Okay.
then see how people enjoy it and see if they're up for it, and then maybe do a bundle with D6 and D30 mixed in with it.
Okay, if we're gonna do it that way, we're gonna have to change the name just for legal reasons.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, but
I just haven't thought of a name yet.
yeah, I mean, there's so many different things we could do with it, but we can work on that as it goes. I like
Oh
the
yeah,
concept of it.
it's a
Well,
working title.
I know, but this would be fun. So what's the topic for the evening?
It is fear and community.
Dope. So is this going to be your normal meeting time going forward?
As of right now, yeah. As long as I'm over here.
Okay, makes sense. It looks like it's probably pretty late over there.
It's only like almost 1 in the morning.
Yeah,
I just got off
Jesus.
work.
Dope. Love it.
All right, I added that to the book. I brought up a shorter intro for this because I personally don't like reading the steps every meeting.
I don't blame you. I'm bad at it.
So I just created a short little intro. Um, I can share it to you on Google. That way, if you need to If you want to use it on your meetings, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, I might actually do that, 'cause I'm bad at reading from the scripts.
It's really short, and then I just include the prayer in the bottom of it. Yeah, I actually got this streaming to YouTube now, our meetings YouTube. So
Okay. Are you dual broadcasting it on Facebook
yeah,
and
I got my
YouTube?
phone right here. Yeah, I got my. No, you can only stream to one of them. So if you
Okay.
guys just want to do Facebook, because it's giving me trouble to stream to Facebook. So if you guys want to stream to Facebook, and then I can stream to both when I'm doing this, because I got my phone here
Okay.
looking at my screen.
It might be one of those things where I need to get a couple extra cameras so we can do all of the different streams on different angles or something.
Well, there's a couple websites that I want to go into and see what the deal is, because we are capable somewhere of streaming to all platforms. It's just how to do it.
Yeah, like that's the big thing is we got to unify streaming because like I can't stream to Facebook Live from Zoom anymore. I have to do it from
Yeah.
my phone, which trying
Yeah.
to get a setup for that's just kind of a pain in the ass. So I might just try to bust out one of my other cameras, see what we can do.
Brian's in another meeting, in a house meeting.
Fancy.
I had to braid my beard today
I've
because
been, I've
it's
been
windy as shit
listening.
out here.
I've been listening, but I finished the house meeting. I'll be with you momentarily.
All right. Enjoy your after meeting.
Yeah, it's super hot over there for you.
No, where I'm at, it's actually really, really nice.
That's
This is
stupid.
where I'm at.
I hate that. I hate you so much right now.
I got a juice box.
Mm-hmm. Fuck
That's
you.
the little things in life.
Yeah, I know where you can put that fucking fancy juice box.
Don't be a hater, Chris. You're better than that.
No, I'm good at it.
Doesn't mean it's a good thing.
Can be sometimes.
Uh, we still got a few minutes before we start,
Okay.
especially with a new time.
So I know have you been the one that's editing down the videos to post on the YouTube?
There's three.
Yeah.
Okay. So we need to find a way to redo the links for meetings on the website because all it gives you is the ID. We need to be able to have like the not good at technology links.
Okay. What I can do is, if you and Brian go into your Zoom sometime this week and send me the actual link for it, then
Mhm.
I can create the numbers and act as a link itself.
Yeah, I was just looking at it because when Bryant did his meeting, I couldn't find the link, and
Yeah.
going to the website did not help me at all.
Okay, so I think I've seen an app where you can use it to post to everything, but I don't know if it works for streaming. I've seen some app that's supposed to link all the socials in one app and send everything out. I don't know if you do that with
You're
streaming.
not talking about Zapier, are you?
I don't remember what it is. I just saw it the other day and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. And then, yeah, I shared everything to the group page instead of the main page. So that's where I screwed up. So I wasn't able to, I didn't live that way and it ended up being on my personal page. And the link was in the group members page, not the main page, which was the mistake I made.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jake. Thanks for showing up. You should come over and join us on the live on the Zoom meeting. Probably should what is it? Log into Facebook real quick. Open up another window, Frank. There we go. There's the link. All right, I updated the links for my meeting and Stacy's meeting. She's
Dope.
dealing with some shit, so it's gonna be a minute before she's able to start her meeting.
Okay. That completely understandable shit happens.
It seems to be going one right after another, after another, after another with everything she's dealing with.
Yeah, it seems like she's been pretty busy with dealing with shit recently.
Yeah. Oh. So, who's this? Hey, Jake did come. So I read Tom Wood's book, and I'm creating a D&D campaign for it, and it's amazing.
Dope. Yeah, we were just up at Rob's house talking about maybe doing a one-off D&D campaign here shortly.
Oh, with Rob as the DM?
Oh yeah, dude, Rob's the best DM.
You lucky bastard. I mean, I'll be a part of it if you can Zoom call me.
Right, I know. No, he is like one of the biggest introverts I've ever met. He is
Oh,
so
yeah.
bad about being near anybody, even people he likes.
Yeah, he has an extremely small circle.
Yeah, it's very, very small. But we were just up there
Hey, Jamie.
yesterday doing game day. Got to
Nice.
do games with Vinny, Rob, Lewis, and then Sugar Slam came out for a minute. There were
Oh, wow.
a handful of other people that we knew, but just a bunch of like older people from years past that did the gaming stuff. So it was kind of
That's
fun.
cool.
Mm-hmm. Where's your theme music, Frank?
Well, I'm outside in a public place, and I cannot play music. So There's that.
Boring.
We were boring.
A little bit.
We can just start. We've got about 10 minutes, but we can just talk.
No,
With you and D in the meeting, you're gonna make me talk forever, anyways.
oh yeah.
No, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
you're gonna love
I'll
it.
wait.
Yeah, D's working. But we've got we got people that are gonna come in and out. It's just like what happened with D's last meeting. We had people come in at like the end. So we
Yeah.
might as well just wait until start time and then talk forever and let the stragglers get in.
All right.
Fucking love you guys, dude. Sorry, my camera's trashed and I'm getting ready to help the lady cook for the kid, man. I definitely wanted to stop by and say you guys are definitely appreciated.
No problem, Jake. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. You guys rock. Keep doing the damn thing and keep fighting the good fight.
Always.
Yep, it's what we do.
Keep on pushing.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing stops us. I'm in the middle of a different country doing this stuff.
Hey, you gotta do it. The only way to do it.
Yep. It keeps me in the right headspace.
Exactly. But I wanted to pop in. Just show my appreciation. Thank you, you guys.
Yeah, no problem, Jake. Hey, if you're not able to catch the full meeting, this meeting will be up on our YouTube channel if you want to go check it out.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, just type in Juggalos and Recoveries meetings, Juggalo in Recovery meetings, and it should pop up. All our meetings are going up there now.
All right, cool. I'll make sure I watch it, man.
All right, man.
All right, you guys. Have a good one.
You too, man. Enjoy dinner.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, we really need to go through the YouTube channel and label the titles for the meetings to make them make a little bit more sense.
Like, put the meeting topics in the title.
Yeah, meeting topics, and we can leave like the date in there. But there's plenty of content there that's rewatchable, but it would be a lot easier to navigate if they had a title.
Yeah, well, I just didn't know what the topics of meetings were, so
Yeah,
I just kind of put them up there. I can go in and change the titles. That's not an issue.
yeah. I mean, if that's something that I have access to do, I can go do that too. Cause we'll sit through and watch all of them.
I think you do.
Okay. I'll start working on that this week.
Okay. And if you notice anything wrong with the videos, let me know. I've got all the raw footage on my hard drive and stuff. So
Okay. Yeah, I'll go through and check for any errors and see what I can do. So I've watched most of them at this point to check for issues, and I haven't really found anything.
I usually just cut out all the music and stuff. That way we don't get copyright claimed and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's one of
Usually when
my
ICP gets copyright claimed, it says no restrictions, but I usually just have YouTube mute the music.
right. It's just for the best until I can get something like in writing for us that we've got like
Yeah.
universal access to music or something.
Yeah, that's probably not going to be done for a little while, unless you work some magic juju.
I'll see what I can do.
5 more minutes. D's
Mhm.
just over there hustling, doing his thing.
I'm trying to clear up before the freaking meeting starts. Where I think I sent a link to the one I did to the recording. Did you get it, Frank? Were you able to access it?
Yeah, I did it. So I found so the Zoom website is, for me, it's complicated to deal with because I'm the admin on it and I have to go into all the settings and stuff. But I found where I can go into both your guys' stuff to go in there to the Zoom meetings and download them on my side. So I found all that. But I did get that link that you sent me.
Okay, and you were able to see it because that's the only thing is because I didn't have it in the group page or the main page, not the group page, because I always
Yeah, I got it.
mixed up and look at the group member page instead of the main page for stuff,
Yeah.
which I've been doing forever.
So what I've been doing when I start sharing stuff is I post it to the main page first, and then I share it from the main page to the group and elsewhere. So I
Okay.
always make sure to go to the main page first and post it there, because anything that's posted into the group is not shareable. You can only send
Yeah,
it
that was
through
my
Messenger.
issue. That was
Yeah.
my issue posting to the group is I had to delete so much stuff because I had already posted it elsewhere that it wouldn't let me post in there.
Yeah. Well, if you ever run into that issue again, let me know and I can post shit too.
Will do. I learned best from trial and error. So, I learned my
Yeah, me
mistakes
too.
there and next time we'll run smoother. So,
Ugh. Hi, kitty. There's a wild kitty over here.
Fancy.
Probably spoiled with all these military people out over here.
Yeah, probably feeding it mad shit.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, hello to you three. As you well know, this is a Juggalos in Recovery online Zoom meeting. My name is Frank. I will be running the meeting tonight. Juggalos in Recovery is about the community in recovery. There is no judging here. Everyone is unique and so is their recovery. Our topic tonight is fear and community and how they can correlate, how they can be opposite of each other, how they can hurt you, how they can help you, all of the above. Please feel free to talk about your experience. This meeting is about an hour long. For any newcomers, we appreciate the strength and humility you bring to the meeting, and we are happy you are here. Now, let's get into it. So, I picked this topic because I found a unique correlation in my head. So, you take them separately. Fear is a big thing of why we started our addiction. We wanted to, most of us wanted to just run away from our issues. We wanted to hide. We wanted to numb. We wanted to not feel anymore. And then you take community where it's other people helping each other. It's other people being there for each other when it's needed, or even when we don't know it's needed. And then if you put them together, there's two things that come to my mind. One, how afraid of being in a community are you, or were you? I know for me, putting myself out there and creating Juggalos in Recovery and being a part of a community that I knew nothing about when I started, it was scary for me, and I was afraid of being shunned and pushed away and all that stuff. And it's very, very it's very anxiety driven when it comes to what fear does to me. And then also, community can help you conquer your fear and help you learn to take that fear and turn it into some motivation to conquer whatever challenge you have. So, like, for example, one of my biggest weak points is I like doing everything myself. I have the control over it. I like to do it. I know I have the capability of handling it. And the problem with that is I overwork myself. I work to the point to where my brain shuts off and I'm not capable of doing it anymore. And I always did that, and at times still do that, because I fear that other people aren't going to be able to do it like I do it. I fear, because I have dealt with so many people who are unreliable and don't have the same mentality as I do, and won't get done the same way or as good, or whatever else my brain decides to think of at the time, whatever excuse, that fear actually hurt me more, because one, it overworked me, it overwhelmed me, and two, I myself refused to allow the community that wanted to help me, and wanted to help build whatever it is that we're building here into something that can help others. And if I had continued going down the road that I was going, it probably would have killed Juggalos in Recovery. It would not be where it's at today. Just because I wouldn't be able to do this alone. Between my wife, Bryant, and Chris, there's no way, and all the other volunteers that have helped us, like, there's no way I could have been able to do this by myself. There is so much that goes into it. So when it comes to fear and community, however it correlates in your head, they're two very different words, but I'm sure that we can find a way to merge them together, if not differently than what I just did. Or just talk about whatever else is going on. Whatever your struggles are today, or whatever you're grateful for today. Try to throw some positivity into it today too. Anybody want to talk, or do you want to keep hearing me blab?
Brian's down to do it when he's got a moment,
Yeah.
but
Crashly, I see you on. Hold on, Chris. Crashly, I seen you unmuted. Are you ready to talk?
Yeah.
Okay.
my biggest struggle is I don't like asking people for help.
Hmm.
Kind of like you. I don't like asking anybody. I like to do stuff on my own because I think it's because I know it's because where my past, I've asked people for help and they've never wanted to help, or they'd say they'd help and then backed out and stuff. So like, that's my biggest issue. Don't being in recovery and just life in general is I don't like to ask for help. I mean, I'm starting to come around to it and I'm starting to ask little by little. And so, yeah. But, and
That's
also,
Go
I'm
ahead.
thankful to be sober. I'll be a year sober September 30th. So
That's awesome. Congratulations.
thank you.
So when it comes to you not liking to ask for help, what do you think? Let's try to break it down a little bit. What do you think is on top of what you already said with people not showing up, people just not wanting to help you? What do you think you can do to fix how you see asking for help?
Not really sure. Well, yeah. I mean, I have taken small steps to ask for help. Like if I need something moved at work, normally I'll She-Hulk everything and do it all myself. Like so
Mhm.
like I've actually been taking small steps to be like ask my pastor, ask someone else who's working, like, hey, can you help me move this? Or just, hey, I'll need a few dollars to spare till this day. Cause like I guess it's where I had to take on independence by myself and learn to hustle on my own and everything else. So I'm I've been taking small steps like here and there.
Well, that's good.
And
So,
plus it's kind of a trust thing too. Like I gotta trust the person to ask them.
so that's another thing too, is asking for help. You've got to be able to know the right people. You've got to have healthy relationships with people around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the community comes into play. The community is not just, Juggalos in recovery. It's not just, the Juggalos. It's the community is the people you keep around you that you can count on, no
At
matter
which
what.
my community has turned into my church community because
Yeah.
I rent my
So,
home off of them. I work for them. So like they've become a big part of my life. And like even though they like still tell me till this day, like actually week before last, the lady I'm good friends I'm becoming good friends with that at my church where I work at. She's like, man, you don't know how grateful we are to have you. And she's like, you're she said something along the lines of like, I'm a good person for the community because like we help the homeless and stuff. So like they all know
mhm,
me. I used to run with them and drug it up with them. And
yeah.
she's like, you don't know how valuable you are to this community. And I'm like, I don't see it. Like,
So that's one thing is you.
and it's just hard to take stuff in like that because being put down all my life.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that's something that the longer you're in sobriety, the more you'll start to have a better understanding of. We don't realize
Mm-hmm.
how much we impact people, whether they know us or not. Like like literally just being out here where I'm at, I don't know anybody unless I work with them, and I still can impact someone just by smiling at them or waving to them or giving them the head nod, like, hey, what's up? Like you don't know how much you impact people, and not knowing is okay. But when people give you the compliment of saying something like, you don't understand how much you mean to this community or whatever, or you're a good person in this community, or you impact the community in a good way, that just should show you that you're on the right road, that you're on the right path, that you're doing the right things when the world gives you the opportunity to. And that speaks a lot about the type of person you are, and that should mean a lot to you. Because
It,
think
it,
about where you
it does.
came from and huh?
I was gonna say it does. It's just hard for me to take a compliment after being put down for so long and treated like trash and
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, and that goes along with all the trauma that we deal with in our addiction. Like people who compliment us tend to want something from us. And I even joke around with my wife now when she says I love you. I'm like, what do you want? I know she doesn't want anything. She's just saying that she loves me, but I'm so used to people saying that they love me and then the next question out of their mouth is they want something from me. So
Mm-hmm.
it's one of those things we've got to relearn in our brains that not everybody is like the people that we've dealt with in the past. But thank you for sharing, Crashly. I'm going to let Chris talk now.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just building off what Crashly had to say, is that going into any type of new community, especially coming from anybody with our backgrounds, our immediate reaction is to have our guard up. But you're never going to be able to make any real connection unless you're willing to embrace people. And you can't embrace people with all the walls up around you. So you have to be able to go in, arms open, ready to receive people and accept what they have to offer. And you also have to go in there without the ego. And, you can have your self-worth, but you don't get to have the ego that a lot of people in our situations end up having. Because a lot of sober people have massive egos about how long they've been sober or which fellowship they belong to. And they kind of have to be without any other burdens. I don't know what you're worth, know what it is, and be ready to accept help when it's offered.
Yo, I stepped outside to smoke. I have people waiting in the office with my coworker, so I got to chime in real quick. I'm sitting here like all this good shit's being said, and so I like the topic fear and community because it kind of does go hand in hand. Fear is a root emotion which stems jealousy and anger and sadness and all these other things, right? And there's a couple things Sober was saying and Crashly was saying, right? Like when I first got sober, I was afraid that I would succeed. I was afraid to accept these people that loved and cared about me with no strings attached. I was afraid of where life was going to take me without the drink and the drug that I was so used to, right? And I was so used to always being the let down and pushed away, right? That community, being involved in a community was a hard thing to do at first, right? But the group of people, the network of people I have around me, I have certain ones that I use for different types of advice or wisdom when I'm going through certain things because the job related things can be straining in the field that I work in. And like I was saying earlier, like the easiest way for me to learn is trial and error, but there are plenty of times that I have to call and go like, I don't know what the fuck to do right now in this situation because I'm torn between 4 different emotions, and that's when I can lead in my community to help me not be in the fear mindset to get a different perspective on what's going on around me. You know what I mean? And that's a hard thing to do when you're stuck in your head over a situation is to ask for that help to get a different perspective, right? So I have a tight network of maybe like good like 10 people that I use when I'm going through those things. But just like Frank was saying, like I like to try to handle things on my own first. And sometimes doing that enough is overwhelming and stressful, um, because I feel like for me, like I would rather handle it on my own. It's that pride and ego thing. Like, I want to try first. And if I'll fail, then I'll ask for help, but I have to still try, but it's worry, I guess, of looking weak sometimes, you know what I mean? And there's nothing wrong with being weak or needing help, right? That's why I have this group of people around me, but I'm stubborn because I would like to push and do stuff on my own when that's not always the best way. And even this time, like it's hard for me to show certain emotions with certain people in my community, because it's like I'm super grateful, I'm super thankful for a lot of things, but I may not express it like I should, you know what I mean? Because I try to do actions without seeking anything in return. Same when people do stuff to me. So it's hard for me to keep in mind how I should, respond in certain situations, because I'm not used to being shown love and kindness without a string attached to it. Right. So that's like a fear stem thing. And that's like a character defect that's been hard to break, that I still have to work on from time to time. And it's not easy all the time. And love all you guys. Glad to hear you, see you.
Thanks, Bryant.
Thanks, D. Yeah, it's a lot, especially coming into a group or meeting someone for the first time. And like one of the things that I struggle with, and quite a few people can probably vouch for this, is I have I have gotten to the point to where I accept for everybody for who they show me. And 90% of the time they show me someone who isn't real. And in this world that we live in, it's a thing that we do to protect ourselves. I know I used to do it all the time. Now, for me, I don't judge people. I don't like judging people, but I also, my weakness is that I take everybody for who they show me and not who they are. I always see only the good side of them. I don't see the bad side. I don't allow myself to focus on the bad side because I want to help improve them. It's something that I've been working on. I'm not a good judgment of character. I just tend to flow with it. And if my way of thinking is I flow with it. And if that person stays in my life, then they stay in my life. If they show me something I don't like, then whatever, you just go do whatever you got to do. But I've come into a community, many different communities that I'm a part of, where they just love and care about you for who you are and what you do and how you can help them and how they can help you. And it's so gratifying, and it almost relieves stress to be a part of a community like that. And for a person like me who doesn't like being extroverted, who doesn't like being outspoken, who doesn't like speaking up for myself, it's I had to learn very recently how to defend myself verbally, like set standards and boundaries and rules and guidelines and all this stuff of how I allow people to treat me. And it's something difficult to learn, but I'm not afraid to do it anymore. Go ahead, Brian.
That sparked the other thing I was thinking about that you said a second ago, and it slipped my brain because I'm a workaholic. And I haven't finished my bang. I need to get caffeinated. Anyways, you were saying earlier, basically what you're saying, right? Everybody, you show a different person to everybody, right? Depending on what that relationship is. And you were saying earlier, also, like, you don't really know until people start saying, like, when I went to the gathering and had COVID and I was gone for 2 weeks, all of a sudden all these people I didn't know how they thought or felt about me are coming out the woodworks now that I've been absent for a couple weeks. We miss your face, we miss you having around here, you mean so much to this place, X, Y, and Z, right? But you don't notice it when you're stuck in that place, right? And it's hard that fear thing to go up to somebody and go, hey man, I respect and honor whatever about you, right? But when they're not there, then you're like, damn, I miss that guy. Like, let me shout out, like, I respect what you do and I miss having you around or whatever, right? Um, so like I didn't know how much I meant to a ton of people in my life. So I was absent for a couple weeks, and the same thing, like what you give me is what I give you in a relationship. If you show me respect and honesty and whatever you put in is the same energy I'm going to put in, right? Because that's how a relationship works. If I'm always give, and you're always take, that's a toxic relationship. So that's not good for my network or my community, right? So I want those people that are uplifting and better spirited, right? Because I want to be uplifted and better spirited, because that's what I try to do on a daily basis for other people, is try to lift up instead of pull down, right? So those are the people I want around me, the people that are doing bigger and better things, because I'm trying to do bigger and better things. And then people I see motivated to do bigger and better things, I coach them and try to bring them along the way too, to see them be a better person. And I got a few people, they're like little proteges of mine and the sober community around here, and I'm super proud of what they're doing. And they're not my sponsees or nobody, they're just friends that I talk to about life and about adulting and about finances and about doing things. And I see them taking the actions, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's what's up, man. And not being afraid to say my experience and how I got where I am and where I am today from where I was, is a monument of helping other people in the community that I'm in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's all right, Chris. I need a Chris question to get my mind moving.
Okay. So the idea of somehow recognizing that you're a role model after being the serious fuck up all your life, how do you transition into actually being a role model and accepting the responsibility that comes along with that?
I love to hate you.
I'm very good at this.
So,
I'll answer that one too, Nick.
oh, you can go ahead, Brian, if you got time.
No, the question was for you first.
Okay. So it did not come to my attention, to the forefront of my brain, that I was the face of this group or a role model at any point until it was pointed out to me. And I think for a while there I was in denial about it, because I feel like I knew it. I just didn't want to accept the responsibility that came with it. And the responsibility is not a bad thing, because the things I do on my personal time or with my family or whatever, it's nothing that goes against what Juggalos in Recovery stands for. My wife actually, random thing, we were driving and came to a stoplight, and some person's car stopped running in the middle of an intersection, one of the busiest intersections in my town. And I was just going to sit there and let them wait, like let it work itself out. And my wife stopped the car and said, "Get out and go help them." So we got out and pushed the car up a hill into a gas station. And the person got their gas. It's like helping the community is just what my family does. And then the transition that I had to go through, physically, there was no real transition. It was the mentality of being the go-to person, something that I've always dreamed of doing, always dreamed of being. I've always wanted to be that person that people come to for whatever the case is. And I've accomplished that. And now I'm like, how do I do this? Because I don't have the answer for everything. And then I think about what prior mentors have told me, and a lot of that is because is if you don't know the answer, then help them find it. And sometimes all they need is someone to talk to and someone to point them in the right direction or give them an idea on their own. I could be telling Chris about one thing and it sparks something in his brain and leads him a whole different direction. But being a role model, a key figure in any type of or size of a community is a can be a hard task if you're not ready for it. And a lot of fear comes with it because you're afraid to mess up. You're afraid to do something wrong because you have so many eyes on you. But the reality is, if you live a true and honest life, then you should have no worries. You should have no issues. And for me, the fear comes from dealing with people. I'm not good at it. I don't deal with people well in my eyes because I see so many other people doing it better than me. The reality is, I don't need to do it as good as everybody else. I just need to continue learning and being myself because being myself is what's got me here. And accepting me for who I am is probably one of the hardest things that I have come to accept in my sobriety. And I would never, ever, ever, ever on a deployment be wearing this vest on a military installation. But I have been walking around proudly and wearing it everywhere I go, into work, out of work, into the chow hall, into the store, everywhere. And the people who are from here have been giving me compliments on it. But I would never have had the courage to do it because I was so afraid of being me. And it's a very easy thing to let your fears control who you are. And one thing about being a role model in a community like this, a sobriety community, a juggalo community, any type of community, is you need to be able to accept who you are and how you are, and have a little bit of pride of you accepting that and working with that. If you got something to say, Brian, go ahead because my brain's come to a stop.
All right, go ahead. I'm gonna shoot. I like the bounce back off. People say things that sparks things in me. So, it's kind of like I think right when I started getting sober, this is 2018. This is before I stumbled on to Juggalos in recovery, but I was already the token Juggalo guy in the room. But like through the process of the fellowships I was doing and working steps in those fellowships, right, I learned to live a life of integrity, right? And by always trying my best to always stick to what I say I'm going to do. Not perfect. I am a human. But leading by example and showing my actions instead of always just talking. Because my first year of recovery, I just shut up during most meetings, but did tons of service work and did my steps and did all this stuff, right? To the point where people say my name and look up to me in the community. And I didn't go out asking for that, but I proudly, like, even when I was at gathering, like I'm in recovery, like I'm this, like and even down here in the rooms, I'm like the token Juggalo kid that's in recovery. Everybody knows it. I rep that shit hard as fuck. People make jokes and give me a hard time. I don't give a fuck. It's all in, like, they love me regardless. They're just like, how can you be 30 years old and still listen to that? And I'm like, this is my life. What are you talking about? Like, I am dedicated to sobriety. I'm dedicated to being a Juggalo. And they think I'm like crazy, but I'm like, oh, whatever. I don't care. This is my lifestyle, right? But being authentically who I am and trying to live my best with integrity and leading by example is how I have these people that ask me about finances and how I did this and how to do that. And I think I just developed into a role model. It's not what I expected, even though I always wanted to help people. And you kept saying, how do I do this? And I do this, right? My song when I was living dirty back in Jacksonville in my younger years, My homies gave me the song I Do This. I was the guy known for whatever you want, whatever you need handled, call him. He does that shit. That's his song. And now it's in a positive manner. If he's available and you need him to come speak, or you need this or you need that, you should talk to him. We'll help. We'll always help. Talk to him. Right. So I get a lot of calls from people in the room, or a lot of people asking stuff of me down here, or asking me to do service work on quite a regular basis. I don't think there's a week that goes by that I don't get asked for something. But I'm always willing to do it because that's what we do in sobriety, right? Is we try to help people the best that we can. And I'm not going to stay sober unless I'm helping somebody else, right? That's the whole key point. And usually when I spend my time helping other people, I see parts of me that could be better, right? Or where I'm lacking. So that's always a good thing too. And then it's funny, like I don't know, a year or two sober, and I stumbled upon you through a YouTube video because I like watching gathering recaps, and like your original starting Juggalos in Recovery, like recap from a way old gathering. And then I stumbled across something like, if you want to be put in a commercial, and I'm like, sure, I'll shout out my recovery shit. And I already had the war vest going on then and all that. And like, I didn't know like dick about dick besides I'm a juggalo in recovery. And I'm like, cool. And then me and you texted a little bit back and forth. And then it developed to what it is today. Right. But if I didn't get sober, I would have never known you. And if you weren't doing what you did, I wouldn't know there was a whole community of sober juggalos just like me that have been through the ringer that are trying to make their life better, right? So the carnival, the higher power, whatever it may be to you, all guides us in this direction to unite, right? And none of that happens unless we put in the footwork. So beautiful thing.
It is very beautiful. Josie, you've been very quiet this meeting. Do you have anything you would like to add or talk about?
I don't know. I'm very quiet because I've been overwhelmed with life. I would say I'm at this point scared shitless to actually ask anyone for help because I like to do it myself, and because I ended up having to ask the police for help and people at the building I live with for help, and basically everyone's turned me down for actually helping me and basically lied to me about giving me help and support and haven't. So I basically to the point shutting down. I usually help everyone if they need someone to listen or whatever, but at this point I think I'm going to give up, at least on where I'm living now, on reaching out for help here because it doesn't exist.
Okay. Do you think you could just be surrounding yourself with the wrong people?
Uh that's why I'm moving and just leaving here, because all my people that are actually I know and are good and aren't douchebags or anything aren't from here. But I think it's sad that you can't even go to the cops here if you need help.
I mean, that is pretty sad, but it also
Yeah.
depends on what kind of help you're going to them for. But focusing on the people that are in your personal community.
Yeah, I've cut out a lot of people. I'm doing that. I've learned that one at least.
Have you learned or witnessed or understand that just by moving you're not going to fix the issue?
Yeah, I do know that. I've done it a few times, but at this point the move's the safest thing for me to do.
Okay.
Just
I
because
just making
I'm
sure
getting
you're
hated
aware
on
of all
just
that.
for being me, to the point where I have to run away from people and the cops aren't even wanting to keep people that I've asked to stay away from me away half the time. So for my own sanity.
I mean, geographical relocation helps at times, but there's this
Yeah.
saying, wherever you go, there you are. So even if you move, it's all about changing habits and behaviors, right?
Yeah.
To
Mhm.
attract
Well,
different people. That's the hard part. because I got sober right where I got arrested, went to prison, got high at, ran the streets at, but I literally cut like everybody out of my life. And that
Mhm.
was what I had to do, was all those people that was negative energy. They were no good for me. They weren't pushing me in the right direction. They wanted me at running the streets and wilding out and doing this. Um, so I just withdrew from all of them and dove into a whole separate community that pushed me forward, you know? So if the people
And
around
see,
you are
that's the
holding you
thing.
down, you got to get out and get involved with other people that are going to push you up.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing with th- that I was going to bring up about relocating somewhere is you've got to be careful when doing that, because if it's for your safety, 100% go for it. But just be careful you're not running away because you're afraid of going into a different community, a
Um,
different form of people that you're not used to.
but yeah, that's actually why I'm doing the complete opposite, because I moved to where I'm at because I ended up homeless because of choices I was making and everything else. So I'm actually technically trying to move closer to people that I know and that actually support me and want to help me with shit and help me do better, instead of people that are around here that are trying to do the opposite and trying to, when
Good.
they fuck up, instead of owning up to their fuck ups, they're trying to blame all their fuck ups on me or get me in
Yeah.
trouble for shit they're doing. So
Well, good. It sounds like you're making the right choices for what you're dealing with. So I'm happy
yeah.
about that. I'm sorry that you're going through such a rough time, but trust me, it does get better if you put in the work. And it sounds
Yeah,
like you're
it's all
doing all right.
good. My sanity's good. It's just getting away from people and things that irritate me and cause drama that I don't want anymore.
I
Yeah,
mean,
makes
for
sense.
me, anything that disturbs my inner peace, they can get cut out real quick. Because at
Oh,
the end of
yeah.
the day, that's the most
Mm-hmm.
important thing, is being at peace
And
with
some,
myself. If I'm not peace out with myself, then everybody is in the line of fire.
yeah, yeah. And cutting people out is very, very easy to do, especially with our current mindsets in sobriety. And I've had to stop cutting people off so quickly. Um, One of the things that I've realized is I cut people off so quickly just so I didn't have to deal with their issues, instead of giving them, being that role model and giving them that chance to, hey, let me help you bring yourself up a little bit. I would go to them and actually help them if they're willing to accept that help. Crashly, you unmuted. You got something to say?
Yeah, but at the same time, it's hard to get people out of your life, especially when it's the closest ones to you, is your family. Like I've had to say bye to a lot of my family because they're still in addiction.
Yeah, and that's a very hard road to travel too. I've had to deal with that myself, and even if, like, some of my family's not in active addiction, and I still had to cut them out because they were just toxic people, and they just refused to listen. They refused to grow. They refused to understand. And then I there's a couple people in my life I've given multiple chances to, and every chance I've given them, they went right back to who they were. And I finally had enough, and I'm not giving them any more chances. You just have to protect yourself at that point.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
cutting
what you're
people out's
saying,
really easy. You just don't deal with them. I don't know. There's mad people that were big parts of my life that I have not talked to in over a decade and don't have any issues doing that.
It sucks
I
when
get
it's
what
blood
you're
though, then it
saying.
makes it harder.
Well, that's the whole meaning topic though. That's what you're talking about is fear. You're comfortable and complacent. And you've had that relationship for how long, right? So it's a fear
Mm-hmm.
of that attachment not being there. But at the end of the day, if it's not lifting you up, what is it doing, right? I know that's Juggalos in
Dragging them
recovery,
down.
but like Josie and Crashly, like Hops and Illmind 8, the outro. right? It's talking about always constantly evaluating your relationships because nothing in your life is permanent, right? If they're not lifting you up and they're bringing you down, then it's time to find the ones that are there to lift you up. So if you haven't listened
Mhm.
to the outro to Ill Mind 8, go check it out after the meeting. Every time I'm debating a friendship, relationship, or something going on, that thing right there is the song I go to play and gives me goosebumps every time because it makes me think about whatever situation I'm in.
That's something else that I love about music is you can listen to any type of music, but the music that so much music can give you power to understand or to um, experience emotions and understand life issues. It's a lot of some of the music that I listen to doesn't even have words. It's just guitars and pianos and stuff. And being able to have something like that have such an impact on how calm and how much peace I have is unreal to me. But back to being fearful in community, it is like I was adopted growing up, and one of the people I had to cut out were the people who adopted me. And that was a really hard thing for me to do because they were such a huge part of my life. But even though they were such a huge part of my life and I was afraid to let them go because I thought if they weren't in my life anymore that I wouldn't be the person I am now, that was just me making up excuses because I was afraid. The reality is those people don't make who I am. I make who I am. I am me because I am my own person. Every one of us in here and everyone who's going to watch this video and everyone who won't ever see us, they're their own person. No one person creates another. That makes sense? I know it made sense in my head.
Yeah, it made a lot of sense.
So when it comes to cutting people off, yeah, you can cut them off. And if it's the right thing, it's the right thing. As long as it's keeping your inner peace, that's all that matters. Inner peace is something beautiful, it's something important, it's something that everyone should have, but the majority of people in life don't. And that's looking at the world, that's kind of sad. If you don't have inner peace, how can you help other people get peaceful?
I don't like looking out the outside world sometimes, especially when I drive on 95 in Florida. And it's just like the
Oh man,
ICP song. Everybody is in a dead stop staring out their window to try to see a bloodbath of nothing's there but a red car on the side of the road. So I'm trying my best not to focus on the outside because it gets ugly thinking about it.
Yeah.
So I just stay in my little world, in my little bubble. So I'm not so angry 24/7. Because if I was focused on normal people and the things they do, yeah.
The outside world is so toxic and you can get caught up in it so quick. It is unbelievable how quick that toxicity can poison your life. And that's why people like us create communities and be a part of communities that try to get rid of that toxicity and be able to be there for one another and bring other people up and so they can stop suffering as well. Chris, you have been very quiet this whole meeting. It is your turn to talk, sir.
I'm good at this occasionally. It's one of those things like there's so many people that can be toxic in your life. There's so many situations that you put yourself in that are so detrimental to who you are. that changing it is also scary. And then trying to get into situations that are so utterly different than the scary, toxic situation that you came in is just equally as scary. So it's a flip of a coin, but ultimately a change for the better is a change for the better as long as you're not running away from shit that you need to face head on. Because if you don't face the difficult shit in your life, you're always going to be constantly running from one problem to the next and never fixing any of them.
Don't you raise your eyebrows like you just said something powerful and shit?
I don't know. I'm still half asleep.
Half asleep. It's got to be what, 4 o'clock there, 5 o'clock there?
Yeah, I got home at like 8 a.m.
Oh my God. Game night, right?
Yeah.
That's another thing. If you want something to do and you're bored, get into some gaming because this shit is awesome. But anyways, back to the topic. Let's see. Brian, give me a question. Chris is already blowing my mind. It's time for you. Josie and Crashly can have one too if you got a question for me.
What inspired you to start what you started
Oh
that has
God.
spawned into what it is? What was your
This
inspiration?
is
What was your low point that broke you down, that got you sober and inspired you to start doing this instead of all the
so
other 12 steps?
so of course I had my low point, my rock bottom. I was arrested for DUI, domestic assault, and speeding 98 and 55, and I remember about 5 minutes of the whole night. My drug of choice was alcohol at that point in my life. Um, I got sober through AA. And when I got sober, I did the normal thing that everybody does, and oh, everybody needs to live by the 12 steps, and I started blasting it through everywhere. But then I started getting hated on by people in AA because I was so vocal about it. And to me, that just didn't sit right with me. And I didn't realize a lot of this until way after Juggalos in Recovery was even created. And then about Juggalos in Recovery started on May 20th in 2014, so I was almost a year sober. July of 14, I would have been a year sober. I started this. Wow. I started as a Facebook group. I was in some chat room, some Facebook group or something like that, and I had made a post about Juggalos being in recovery. And one guy and I started talking. One of my YouTube videos, I mentioned his name and gave him respect for helping me come up with it and giving me the opportunity to run with it. But I just started the Facebook group that way. And Juggalos in Recovery has had very many different names. It started off as Recovery in the Juggalo World and all kinds of other stuff. I attempted to do JAA, Juggalo Addiction Anonymous, and that just never sat right with me. And then for fun in the Juggalo meeting intro, the original, I made some joking around. I made a rule. One was Juggalo. First rule of Juggalos in Recovery is we tell everybody about Juggalos in Recovery. That has been a huge impact on how Juggalos in Recovery runs, because we're not afraid to tell people that we're in recovery, that we're Juggalos, and that we're here to help you no matter what. No matter what you think about me, I'm here to help you. Because the point, the main overall point is not that you're in recovery. It's not that you're a Juggalo. It's the fact that people always need someone there, and we're going to step up and be there for you. Now, we will always watch out for ourselves. We will always protect ourselves. But this whole thing came into fruition over many, many years of evolving. Juggalos in Recovery, what it is now, is not what it used to be, not even close. I have gone through so many different versions of I have a hard drive, 4 terabyte hard drive worth of different artwork and different sayings, and I've had contests for artwork. I've had for logos and sayings and just everything. Like Juggalos in Recovery would not be what it is now without everyone else. I am literally just the person who created a Facebook group and ran with it. Everybody else has created Juggalos in Recovery. I do all the background stuff, like build the website and, make sure people to hold meetings and, post stuff on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that crap. But Juggalos in Recovery isn't anything without Josie, without Crashly, without Jake who showed up, without anybody else who's come to these meetings. This is a community that's literally built itself. And the reality of my impact, sure, I was the guy who created Juggalos in Recovery. But the reality was Juggalos in Recovery has always been here for us. We've just never put a name on it.
What motivates you to keep doing it? The other
The
part.
amount of love that I get from everyone and every person I've talked to, whether like people I work with now here in a completely different country on the other side of the world, have given me love for what I do. Seeing the impact on the community of Juggalos. Like, I don't think out of the 4 gatherings I've been to, out of all of the Juggalos and Juggalettes and family I've ever talked to, this last gathering, I have never seen such an impact on the community as I did this year. And we were just starting out. Like, this was the first big year for us because we made it into the program. And being able to see how much it was needed, how much people just needed a face to put with the words, is what motivates me to keep pushing forward. To gives like the gathering literally reinvigorated my motivation to keep doing this, because before the gathering I was literally to the point of overwhelming and just giving the company to someone else, because I just didn't have the motivation anymore. I didn't have the inspiration. I didn't have the mental capacity to do it. And then all of that love that everybody gave me at the gathering has literally reinvigorated, re-inspired, and remotivated me to continue doing what I'm doing and come up with new things as I'm doing it. And now I've got you, I've got Chris, I've got my wife, I've got the right people around me to help improve that even more. Like earlier, before the meeting, when I sent all that shit out in our little private group, I would have never done that in the past. I hate going out and my wife pushed me to do that because she knows how much I hate asking people for help. She was like, why don't you just say, hey, Brian, give me 10 meeting topics. What about this? And I was like, what? Why? This is my thing. No, ask them for help. So I did. And Chris has already come through, and you're coming through. Like Ty even came through when he was a part of us, like part of the inner group. And I mean, it's mind blowing to me that so many people love us. That's why I keep doing what I'm doing. Go
It's
ahead.
necessary.
So there was a couple things you said that I liked, and stories are kind of similar of what brought to sobriety. Mine was a DUI too, but I guess it's different where I'm at in South Florida, right, than where you got sober, because I do AA and DAA, and in DAA the 12 steps are fucking hammered. And if you don't like it, go find a different fucking meeting. Like they hammer that shit home like essential. Get a sponsor, work your steps as quick as fucking possible. Right. And then you're saying like the people that help you with Juggalos and recovery, like no other 12-step fellowship was just one person. It's a collective mind that makes it happen, right? So it's different outlooks that make it happen. So your wife makes smart choices. You should listen to her more. No, I'm joking. Well, she does. It's kind of true. I'm just playing.
I mean, I did marry her for a reason.
I know mine. If I would listen to mine more, I'd probably be a lot further in life than I am right now. But who cares about that? And I'm happy where I am in life, put it that way. So I don't care where I could have been. But right, working a 12-step program is and learning to be a better self is about being a positive light to the world when they need help, right? So this fellowship is exactly what it's supposed to be, a positive light, right? Because we all know Juggalo culture can get pretty fucking crazy. And I know I was out there on one. And we're all getting older, like Chris says all the time, man. We got to be that handout, to pull them up, right? To pull them out of these pits when they're ready. And not everybody will ever be ready. Some people are happy how they are, but there's going to be plenty of people that get tired of the same old thing. Like when I hit my bottom and you hit your bottom and Chris hit his bottom like 30 years ago.
I'm not that old.
I forget your sobriety date. I just know you got a fuck
He
ton of
doesn't even
sobriety.
know his sobriety date.
I don't
Yeah.
really know. It was around my 19th or 20th birthday. I just turned
Yeah.
33, so like 13, 14 years.
I just know you have a lot of time, and time doesn't factor anything. It's if you keep doing the things that keep you sober. If you quit doing all the things that keep you sober, you get miserable, irritable, discontent. You start to hate your life, and you go do the same shit again because you quit practicing your principles and working your program. So time I've seen people 60 days sober, more fired up and gung ho and full of life and at peace and happy than people with 20 years that are sitting there complaining about their ex-wife still 15 years later.
I've run into
So
those issues myself when I was six years sober. My 6 year sober was the hardest year of being sober. I had run into so many issues because I got complacent. I was like, nah, I don't need to go to AA. Nah, I don't need people. I don't need, communication. And I just went into my hole, and my whole sixth year of sobriety, so many things went wrong because I refused to get help. I refused to ask for help. I refused to be a part of a community because I thought I could do it myself.
did
And
that too.
you see that all the time in sobriety.
I call that my 5.5 years of sobriety I did. Because I will do everything on self-will and never work a program. And I was absolutely miserable for 5.5 years.
Yep.
And Josie's phone messed up. She told me to tell you that she loves us and sorry her phone messed up and some other things.
It's all right.
Hey.
Good, Josie, you're loved. Well, does anybody have any last minute things they want to say or ask questions about? Crashly, I don't think I've personally seen you in a meeting before, but if you have any questions about Juggalos in recovery, about needing help, about wanting to talk, whatever, you're more than welcome.
I was in last week's meeting.
Yeah, I couldn't be at last week's meeting. I was traveling.
Ah,
Yeah,
well, I appreciate it.
yeah,
Well, I
Crashly is
appreciate.
if I remember correctly, Crashly's somewhat local to me, right? You're out in Ohio?
Yep.
Yep, Coshocton?
So coffee.
Same thing. It's middle of nowhere sea country.
All right. Well, with that, I'm going to close the meeting. Thank you all for showing up. If you know anybody who needs a meeting, the meeting list is on the website. So, and there will be links by the end of the week to the meetings. But with that, I believe no matter how long the road, if we walk together, we will get there. Even though we will face some of the darkest evil ever seen, we will face it as a community and stand fearless in its path. Nothing will stop us. With the help of our family and community, we will overcome the persecution and tribulations that life may cast from time to time. To the ones who still suffer and haven't found the path to serenity and community, we will continue to search for you and help you no matter your ailment. We carry our stories and messages to everyone who will listen. As the sun descends and the night becomes, we arise and take the path. Thank you all for showing up. Hope everything goes good for the rest of the week. I will see you next week, same time, same channel. Batman out.
All right. Be safe out there, guys. I'm gonna go try to wake up some more.
I'm gonna go try to get some sleep because it's 2 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's not. And you're wrong.
When are we gonna have a group meeting? That's not a regular meeting. Just curious.
As long as it's somewhere around this time, or maybe even earlier, I might be able to knock one out while I'm at work. Just let me know the date, and I'll let you know what I'm capable of getting to. Stacy's gonna be kind of out of touch for a little while. She's dealing with a lot of shit.
I saw. It's sad.
Yeah, well, she's dealing with even more stuff on top of that right now too.
I'm sure.
So yeah, but anyway, so with that, just let me know when you guys want to talk. Hit me up on the chat or whatever, and then we'll figure out a game plan.
Yeah,
all
Brian, yeah, you can hit me up when you've got some free time and we'll go over meeting stuff. And then we can try to get a game plan together and forward that over to everybody. Make sure that we got shit set up.
Yes, one of the nights we don't have a meeting. I know you're still trying to wake up. That we don't have our regular recorded meeting. I have my laptop here. I'll just leave it at work, and me and you can go over a couple things. Because
also,
I know
Brian, I don't know if. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you heard earlier, but if you could log into Zoom on your account and send me your meeting link, so I can add it to the page, the website.
Okay, yeah. I'll do that. I'll send it to you here in a little bit.
Actually, it should already be in the chat for you because I think you sent it in the chat already.
Yeah,
I think
it
so.
should be. Let me double check that just to make sure like he didn't change meeting IDs.
Well, Chris, you just get me both of the meeting IDs, label them so I know whose is whose, and then I'll fix it on the website so the links are there.
I still have the same meeting ID you set me up with. That's the one I used last time when I went live. The problem was I posted to the group, not the page, and I kept trying to go live through the group, which was not permitted. And that was just I need to write down or
like
type
the
up
process
a thing to go in my folder.
Right.
Yeah.
Like print that out on top of your meeting format or something.
Yeah, because I have it in my folder. I have all the other stuff printed. I like printed stuff instead of saving it on my laptop because there's already enough going on there. So
well, it's stupid o'clock in the morning for Frank, so we should let him go. Hit me up whenever you've got time and we can try to start working on going through that shit and we'll go from there.
Yeah, and just let me know when you both are free, and then I'll try to work you guys into my work schedule.
Yeah,
maybe
you know me,
Chris
I'm mostly available.
Maybe Chris tomorrow night, like 7:30 something. I don't know. We're both Eastern Standard Time, so
yeah, I
after I
should
get
be
into work and
available
get all
then.
my stuff done.